I try and try to tell niggas something, you know. That's how person is determined to be hard-headed. They're determined to be hard-headed. What can you do? You really can't do nothing. Just let them learn the hard way. Let niggas learn the hard way. But everything I went through, it has to be avenged. God says you can't do wrong and not pay for it. It's the same thing that I've been telling Wayne for so many years. He even heard a broken record. And yet it's true today as it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago. When I met Wayne, it wasn't even about that. It was just a love relationship. It was so much love between us, and that's why you hear him on tape telling me he loves me, singing songs and all of that, because it's real. And it's a shame that it had to come to this, but there's no other choice. And people say, well, how's God? God is with me, and I know this, and he's always going to be with me. I was born to serve him. I was born in him. And I've had that calling on my life my whole life. It's not even a calling that started with me. It's a calling that began in my ancestry with my mother and her mother and going all the way back. Our people have always been people of God. So it's not even something I can help. It's not something I can divorce myself from. It's the reason why I was created, the reason why I was conceived. I've been through so much. I've been through so much within because of Wayne. And not just because of him, but just the calling on my life. The enemy fought me, and that's another indication. People think that if something doesn't go smooth, it's not of God. It's all kinds of reasons why something may not go smooth. You just don't know unless you have revelation from the Lord about a particular situation. And if God calls you to do something, the enemy is going to fight it. That's all in the Word. So that's what I went through. I have the victory. I know that. It's not just a saying. I had the victory the moment I chose to obey God. Before I even went through any of these things, I already had the victory. It's just awaiting to be fulfilled. And what it is you have to have enough faith to stay in the battle as long as necessary, if it means staying there forever. As long as you determine that you're going to be obedient to the Lord and you don't care what people think, because that's number one, is you can't care what people think in this world, because a lot of them are lost anyway. And even people who think they know the way and they think they're serving the Lord, you see what I'm saying? Because there are people who are serving the Lord, but they don't see it all. There's things that they're missing, so you can't really trust, you can't really let man guide you into, this is why you have the Holy Spirit. This is why you have the Spirit of God and intuition within you. As long as you follow it, you dig, that's God in you. But man will mess you up. And I've learned a long time ago, when I was a kid, I learned to tune out man, and I figured out a long time ago that man doesn't know what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? And there's people that have their own personal issues, and they're seeing things through their experiences and through their lens and through their perspective, and they'll try to put it off on you. But at any rate, as long as you follow him, and I know that's easier said than done, because that means following him through whatever. And people underestimate this walk with God. They don't understand what it entails and what it costs. This is not something that's seasonal. This is not a fad. This is not something that you do because it's popular right now or whatever. This is a real walk, and it's a real battle that you go through, and there's challenges, and it's a day in and day out thing, and this is a lifestyle. It is for life. And all these motherfuckers that came up, particularly this broad that pretended to be me, she thought she was going to just hijack my blessings and hijack my name and hijack my identity through roots and witchcraft. And I'm saying, this has been told already, but it's like, it has to be told, and I guess more or less is geared toward Wayne, because Wayne had so much defiance against the truth and defiance against what he even knew to be true, that is senseless. It made no sense, and there's a lot of senselessness with this situation. There's a lot of things that don't make any sense that he's done. I mean, it's fuckery. It's total fuckery, and it's total senselessness. And I hate to see things that are senseless. You know, senseless, his behavior is senseless. And all of his behavior as far as rebelling and all of that against things that I've said or things that I've wanted, is him really just fucking himself over, because in everything that he's done towards like trying to defeat me, he's only defeated himself. And I think that he's just now coming into the knowledge of that. That's just now dawning on him. Though Wayne has had so much information given to him by God, and so much grace shown to him, and so much teaching brought to him. And it's like, it's just, I guess it takes certain things for him to see. And in my mind, he should have saw, before I even put up this Facebook page, he should have saw, just, if you can discern, like when you have discernment, you can discern things without a lot of evidence to support them. Your spirit just knows, your internal just knows. And I do know he knew. You know, his heart knew, his spirit knew what was right and what was wrong, but he kept thinking, he kept looking at the physical in terms of, this is how he weighed things. He said, well, I'm Wayne, you know, I have this fame, I'm famous, I have money, and I'm male. You see what I'm saying? And he looked at me like, okay, Wayne has always tried to defeat me. I mean, from the beginning. And what I mean by that is, like, I've always been intimidating to him. And he was intimidated by his feelings. He had enormous feelings of love and attraction toward me, and he was intimidated by that because he never, this is all on tape, by the way. I'm not just making this up. This is in Wayne's own words. This is things he's told his friends, and I have proof of this through the tapes, okay? But he was, because he had never been in love before me, so he was intimidated by the overwhelming feelings that he had for me. And he was intimidated by the fact that I was older than him. I am more experienced in terms of having more years, not more experience in certain things, but in terms of having more years on this planet, being a career woman, having my own. You see what I'm saying? And when I came to New Orleans, Wayne was still living with his mama. And so there was a lot of things about Wayne that I didn't know, that I saw later on, that told me, well, you know, he was of age in terms of being considered an adult, but he was still a child in many ways in his mind and in his behaviors. So I've always been intimidating, you know, to him. And so he's always sought to not put me down, but to be on top of me and to quote unquote conquer me, but he ain't never been able to do that. And I think he was used to, well, I know he was used to doing that, but the girls that he had dealings with was very, you know, young, 16, 17, and coming from where he come from, he don't come from a place where there's a lot of wealth in the black community. In terms of New Orleans, there's not a lot of wealth in the black community there. So if he has wealth, and it's an anomaly for someone his age coming from where he come from in New Orleans to even have wealth, that's abnormal in and of itself. So the girls down there would be intimidated, and I guess allow him to treat them any way that he wanted to, because that's clear to me in terms of how his behavior was, because he thought he'd be able to get away with certain things with me, and he's just not. Because I'm not pressed. You dig what I'm saying? I'm not someone that's like, I know my moral structure and my boundaries, and I never did forsake my moral compass and never will. And that's something that he just didn't even understand. He thought, well, he even told me one time, I can buy you, because that's what he was used to, he being able to buy somebody, but he can never buy me. I'm never going to sell out. I'm never going to fold. I'm never going to do what I know is not morally right. You ain't going to reduce me. You ain't going to make me a baby mama. You're not going to do none of that foolishness, because I'm better than that. I'm higher than that, and I'm stronger than that, and I know who I am, and I've been in the Lord a long time. All of that, it was intimidating to him, because all Wayne really did, when he started having these babies outside of our union, which was a grave sin, he was just trying to prove to people. The first one was a mistake. I think he had a baby by some no-named broad. I heard she used to be a stripper. I don't know what the fuck she was, but I don't even know who the fuck that is. But anyway, all that was sin against our union, and all that he's going to pay for. All that is God's going to judge it. And but as far as like Lauren London, that was him being angry with me. And I told him something that hurt his feelings, and I guess in retaliation he gonna get these broads pregnant. So he's also trying to say, hey, look who I can get pregnant and have my baby, and I ain't even got to be with them. I can leave them and reduce them. And he's never going to say this with his words, but he's going to do this in his actions to show he could do this. And so that's supposed to mean he has some kind of power. Well, he's been able to put broads like that down, because he really put them down. You going to get somebody pregnant, you ain't with them, and you leave them. You see what I'm saying? He never was their man. You see what I'm saying? These are just silly broads that just can't see the real time, and they're not in the Lord, so they don't know what's going on. They know that they want this person. This person is rich and famous and all of this, and that includes Nivea, that includes Lauren London. You see what I'm saying? And so they're looking at it like that, but they don't see where his heart lies and why he does what he does. And so they just regular bitches that willing to have a nigga's baby that has no commitment to them whatsoever, and they just reduce themselves down to the level of a baby mama. And I'm not trying to disrespect baby mamas or none of that, but it's just certain behaviors that I don't subscribe to, because I wasn't raised that way, and I was always taught have better morals than that, have better sense than that, and this is what you're worth. You're not someone's baby mama, and that kind of lifestyle, I just don't subscribe to it. I just don't. So he never could reduce me, but he looks to reduce other women, and this gives him a feeling of power. But I really believe all this stems from his relationship with his mother, because his mother was overbearing. See, it's a lot of things about Weezy. If you understood, then you could understand his behavior, but it's confusing because you don't understand. And he's upset with me, not upset, but he's downright angry, and been angry for a long time at me, because I give you revelation on his behavior. He did not want people to understand him. He didn't want people to know why he does what he does. You see what I'm saying? Because he felt like it give him some power when he can do things and people aren't aware of why he does them. See, Wayne has had basically a powerless life, and what I mean by that is, that might sound like, how could he have a powerless life? He's selling millions of albums, and he's famous, and he tours all over the world, so on and so forth. But he has had a powerless life because there was always somebody ruling over him. First it was his mama, then it was baby. You see what I'm saying? So he does little things to try to get power, and usually they're things that have bad repercussions. And Wayne's frustration is he has always looked to have this life of power and freedom that every human being wants, but the things he has done to get them have been twisted, and they rebound to his hurt. The main problem that Wayne has in terms of him being frustrated from having this life that he knows is there, but he seems to not be able to ever reach it. The main block is me, because it's all in how he treated me. His success and his freedom, his joy, his peace, it rose and fell on me. I am the deciding factor for the quality of life that he has. And the reason for that is God sent me into Wayne's life. You understand? So how you treat what God is doing is the determination on whether you're going to fail or succeed. It's just that simple. Because I always say, people say, why do you say God? Why do you always say God, God, God? Because everything else really doesn't matter if it's not God ordained, because God is the power. He is the authority, and it's not real unless he does it. A union is not real unless God puts it together. So it's all about him. It's all about what he's doing. It's all about what he wants. It's all about his will. So it's like, what is that scripture where Jesus said, you know, you will receive those who send themselves, but the one that God sends you won't receive. And he told them, you're going to be judged for that. Because I am the Son of God. You see what I'm saying? You receive these secular individuals that didn't even come from God, you know, and all of this, but you won't receive me. And all of this is the same thing with Wayne. And that's the frustrating thing, is he tried to have victory in his life apart from doing what he was supposed to do toward me and being what he was supposed to be toward me, and it is not to be found anywhere else. I've preached that word to Wayne since Wayne began acting up, and that word has never changed. You see what I'm saying? Because it's a real word. And to honor things that God didn't place in your life. Matter of fact, some of them downright the devil sent into his life to try to get him off of the path of God. In other words, let me break this down so that y'all can understand what I'm saying. God sends you a woman. The things that are utilized to get your attention off of her. See, the devil don't want the plans of God to be fulfilled. He don't want that. He don't want to see that. So he'll send diversions, you know, to distract you and get your attention elsewhere. Well, those are devil sent. If God is doing something with me and Wayne in our relationship, what the fuck is Nivea doing there? You dig what I'm saying? What are these other girls? What is Superhead doing there? She's out of place and out of the will of God. She's trying to destroy God's will. Whether they know it or not, whether they knew about me or not, is irrelevant. That's what's happening. You see, people allow themselves to be used. You're either used by God or you're used by the devil. They allow themselves to be used by the devil without knowing it. Why? Because they're not submitted to the Lord. They're not actively seeking his will. They're just knowing, this is what I want and I'm going to land it. And that's what Nivea said in her mind. Singing songs to Wayne, happy birthday songs in public, giving them gifts and doing all this, thinking she's going to land something that God ordained for another woman, putting her back into it, putting her muscle into it, putting all that she could put into it. And not only did she not land what God created for someone else, but the child that is born of that sinful union will die. That's the word of the Lord, because God's will had already been manifested. These are the same words I've been saying for years. But it's true. I need to say them today. And today it's February of 2015. So that people know that the word does not change. Okay? Now, Wayne should have known this truth. And in his heart of hearts, he did know this truth. But he just kept trying to tell himself he can defeat this truth. And I kept telling him that he can't. And one of the things that's so bitter with Wayne is because I knew the time, I knew the road, I knew what was going to happen. I knew and know was going to work and was not going to work. And I vocalized that. And Wayne wants to get up and say, no, I'm the man. I determine what's going to work and what's not. Watch what I can do. And he constantly falls on his ass and fails when he comes against me. That is bitter to Wayne. That is really problematic to him. Now, he didn't have, this is all in how he receives it. He did not have to have that attitude. He could have had the attitude of, God sent this woman to me, which he did in the beginning. He did, but could have maintained that. And, you know, God sent this woman to me. She's a blessing to me. And, you know, and be at peace with that. Now, I do recognize it's not that simple in terms of there was so much that came against our union, from roots and witchcraft. His mother, his stupid, fucking, idiotic, dumb, retarded, no brains, no understanding, no intelligence, stupid, blind, bitch, dumbass, dumb fuck mama who's going to put roots on an innocent woman in the Lord who's come to help and bless her son. Her son been on a wrong road, you know, prior to me, and with all kind of bad influences around him. I mean, if you know anything about where Wayne grew up, you kind of know that area, and you know what a person can fall into. So now he has this real woman who is a blessing to his life, a Christian, someone that helps him, keeps him on the right road, tells him about the Lord. Every mother in America wants that, in her right mind, wants that for her son. A woman that's loyal, dedicated, not a hoe, not promiscuous, no children, clean record, Fortune 500 company background, in the church, anointed, come from a stellar bloodline, everything that is desirable to have in a wife for your son. He had it, and the dumb fuck idiot retarded ass shit for brains mama that he has is going to try to destroy that, try to make him ride for a lie and ride for somebody that's pretending to be his wife, who's a daughter of a crack addict, who is promiscuous and a hoe and all kind of shit y'all don't know. It's a whole lot of shit that y'all don't know about these motherfuckers. And go try to make him get on TV on VH1 and lie about his relationship and to me and claim this other girl and all of this shit that he's done. She has so fucked him up, you know, in terms of, and he trusted her because that's the only parent he really had. And I told Wayne, you know, I told Wayne the right road. You see what I'm saying? Your wife comes into your life when God sends the right wife into your life to help your ass. And if you don't fucking listen, then, you know, your ass is going to suffer. And that's what it is. This is all bitter to Wayne. It's bitter that I'm coming out, you know, and telling these truths. You see what I'm saying? That's bitter to him. But all of this, he could have turned it in the direction that he wanted to, and it has to come to this, because God ain't gonna fold to your bullshit. God is not gonna fold to your lies. God is not gonna have me back up and retract the truth. Once God comes out, he started it, he's gonna bring it to completion. Whatever it is, he's gonna bring it to completion. He's gonna bring the judgment to the enemies. He's gonna bring that to completion. He always speaks. If you know him, if you know the word, you know him. You know what I mean? God is not a mystery in terms of knowing what he's about. It's in the word. What he likes, what he don't likes, what he won't put up with. All that's in the word from Genesis to Revelation. You understand? So if you don't know what he's like, you see what I'm saying? Then that's on you. But God is not going to allow you to attack his plans and attack his will, and there's no punishment or judgment. Wayne's whole energy all these years, I would say for the last at least 9 years, has been trying to disprove the things that I say because of the power that I have. And the thing about him attacking me is like this. He felt like he couldn't, quote unquote, conquer me and do what he was supposed to do as a man in our union. So now he gonna try to destroy me, because if I can't conquer you, I'm going to destroy you. I'm going to destroy what I couldn't conquer and leave no trace or evidence of the fact that I could not conquer this, and just annihilate you. You know what I'm saying? And that's a psychological condition. But there's just so much that you could understand of his behavior if you knew the truth. You know, it would all fall into place. But you know, you just can't continue to do evil and just think, okay, well, nothing's gonna happen. So Wayne has learned the lesson the hard way, and now I think after 30 years, it's dawning on him just now, you know, but it's taken, and I really think that he's starting to see, only because of my family, because you have to understand, like, for the longest, Wayne knew a lot about me, but as far as like my family, he didn't know a lot about them, because it was never necessary to bring them up, because they didn't have nothing to do with our relationship. So I'm seeing this myself, is that, like, with me, I look at it like this. Well, Wayne should know the truth and acknowledge the truth, because it is the truth. And without me bringing my family into the situation, there's enough evidence, just the love in your heart, just as long as our relationship has been going on, and all the emotions and everything that we've been through because of it, and all of the word of God that you've heard through me from God all these years, you know, and the fact that your love would never die, and the fact that you put so much energy in trying to destroy me, that all is indication that I'm significant. You understand? So there's enough evidence for him to know the truth without me having to say, oh, I'm from this superior bloodline and this is what I've done in corporate America and all that. All that is not even necessary, because he's had the evidence that he's had. But I'm starting to see that for whatever, see, I don't think like this, so it's hard for me to sometimes to see how other people are looking at it. But it's like, when they see you're attached to certain people, then they start saying, oh, well, this is legit, or oh, this has some truth to it. And it's like, that's offensive to me, because I'm knowing from day one that I'm speaking the truth. And that's, and I feel like people should believe the truth just because it is the truth. You don't need all these other accoutrements and all this added star power and all this other shit to it. It's the truth, because it's the truth. You see what I'm saying? But everybody doesn't think that way. So it's like, Wayne is, I know that it's starting to dawn on him the really fucked up position that he put himself in, and that this truth is not going to be quenched, it's not going to be defeated, it's not going to go back, it's just going to go out there. And now he's realizing that he put himself in a position where his lies are going to be busted, and are being busted. And that people in the industry, people in the media are listening to this. And it's not going to go away. And so I think with the pictures and all of the uploads that I've been making to Facebook lately, with family photos and the history of my family, I think that really is making it clear to him. It's teaching him a lot, but it's letting him know, I mean, confirming it, because he already knew in his heart of hearts, but it's letting him know, you're not going to defeat this bitch. Like, these people are not a defeatable people, and a lot of things are falling into place in his understanding. And I'm going all over the place, but, you know, I just want people to understand what's going on, and there's so many lies that's put out there. You're not going to bury me under no fucking lies. So this fat bitch, his mama, Jacita, thought she was going to bury the truth, and she's a stupid, simpleton, retarded ass, dumb fuck. If you could only see how stupid this woman is. She is she is stupid on a level that you can't understand. it's just incomprehensible. You have to actually have spiritual discernment to see how stupid this woman really is, and what dumb fuckery. And it made everything fall into place in terms of when I came to New Orleans, Wayne's friend, you know, telling me about how good of a woman I was, and he had even really, just this is from talking to me on the phone, and it's like I couldn't understand what he was saying, but when I started seeing how the stupid Jacita was and Toya was, and this dumb fuck plan that they hatched, the reason why I could not foresee that happening is because I've never seen that level of stupidity and dumb fuckery nowhere in my life. Nowhere as a child, nowhere in all the years I've been on this planet. I ain't never seen that level of dumb fuckery and stupidity, a plan hatched to try to silence the truth from this, the truth of our relationship and the truth of God, and put her out there as his wife and use roots and do all this dumb fuck shit. I've never seen the stupidity like that. So it's like there's no way I could have foresaw that. And so the Lord let that bullshit come out just so that when it's exposed, people can, it's going to be an example. In other words, he's going to use her as an example of what not to do. But the general world is, this is not even something, and I couldn't, this was my own personal life done against me and the man that God ordained as my husband. And yet I couldn't see it. So I know that the world, unless I interpret it and open it up to them and show them, this is not something that the average person is going to see. This is all hidden shit. All the roots and the witchcraft and shit, those are hidden tactics. And God bringing it to the surface, you see what I'm saying, so that people can understand that this does exist. You know, I come from a good family. I come from a good place. You see what I'm saying? I knew nothing of, you know, I knew that witchcraft existed and spirits existed, and I knew about angels and demons and all that, but I did not know of this, the low level of, just the low lifedness, just how low some people are, so how stupid, how fucking cursed they are to do some shit like this. And I never knew that a guy would ride for lies that he knew were lies because he was afraid. This whole situation with them, they are sick, fucked up, screwed, cursed people. And Wayne, the thing about it is, Wayne was never part of that curse, because Wayne always had a good heart. Wayne was a good person, but it's his I guess his feeling of helplessness and lack of power, that he felt powerless, you see what I'm saying, over his mother, because his mother used roots on him. So that feeling just made him feel like eventually he would have to ride for the lies. And to see was supposed to be a man broken down to the point where he actually is broadcasting lies over what he knows to be the truth. That's shocking, and I don't think it'll ever stop being shocking to me. I don't think the situation will never stop being shocking to me. I don't care how long I know of it, you dig what I'm saying? It will always be shocking, because I never knew that level of evil, that level of fucked upness existed. I mean, there are some really fucked up people. And for Wayne to put himself in a situation is very sad, because he had every out given to him along the way. He had every out. And he put himself in a position of his lies being exposed. He put himself in a position of people knowing what he did and what he was actually willing to do, people knowing that he would let another broad pretend to be his real wife when he knows who his real wife is, and he knows that that's a lie, and he will, out of fear, you see. And so everything Wayne, he don't want people to know that, and everything he's been doing is to keep people's eyes from seeing it. So he put himself in a real fucked up position, because on one hand he's trying to make the lie be the truth, and he thought he could do that by, for instance, with Twitter, with him following certain accounts like Toya's and stuff. This was all to make the lie appear to be the truth. He invested different things into trying to make this lie and trying to ride for this lie, because the opposite of riding for this lie is me speaking the truth and exposing it. And so he doesn't want that. So he felt like he has to ride for this lie, and there's all that he invested in trying to make this lie appear as the truth will be exposed and revealed to people, and there's nothing he can't do nothing about it. He thought that, okay, this is how he was thinking. Angela has no power. What power does she have? Nobody knows who she is. This is before he really knew me, you see what I'm saying? And still he's getting to know me. But he thought, well, she's not, I got all the media attention, and I'm famous, and I got millions of views, and I got fans, and I got Grammys, and who's going to listen to her? But he don't understand that it's people like me and my family that make it possible for this motherfucker to even have anything, because this country is built off of the things and achievements that my family has brought historically. So that's a known fact, and those are facts. You see what I'm saying? So he's realizing the power that I come from and why he's never been able to defeat me is dawning on him. And as it's dawning on him even now, and when I say now, see, as I'm speaking, it's February 9th, 2015. But even now, as it's dawning on him that he's not going to defeat the truth, it's also at the same time scaring him even more. See, all of this that he's done so far has been out of fear. And now he's even more afraid, because all I'm doing is growing in power. That's all I've been doing in front of his eyes. Is this truth has been growing and spreading. These videos that are on YouTube, more and more people are coming into the knowledge of them. More and more people are hearing the truth, and there's more videos to be made. You see what I'm saying? Because the truth of God, you're not going to defeat it. So this is all very, very frightening to Wayne. And Wayne is wanting to hide. He's wanting to put on glasses and go behind walls, because people are starting to see the truth about him. And they're starting to see the truth that I'm speaking, and they're realizing it is the truth. As unusual as it is the truth. And so he don't want to be looked at. That's one of his biggest fears, is being looked at by the public a certain way. Like, this motherfucker did not, he did not do this. He did not allow all this. And then, he does not want to be looked at as someone who would do what he did. So, when you understand these things, you will understand his behavior. And he put himself in a fucked up situation. He knows this. And so the truth is not going nowhere. It's not going away. It's just multiplying. It's only increasing. And as I come out now he wants to back down. I even heard recently that he was thinking of not even being in the industry. A lot of that has to do with me, because it's hard for him to live publicly with me out here publicly telling the truth, and him knowing that ain't nothing gonna stop me from speaking it. I don't care if 20 years pass, I'm still gonna be talking about this. So it's only gonna multiply. It doesn't matter. I can get married, have 5 babies. I'm still gonna be speaking of this, because I'm obligated to, because the Lord has to get the truth out there because of the lies that we'll put out there. And it's a very, very sick situation. But I'm not sick. I'm on the side of the truth. I'm on the side of God. I don't have to fear any kind of bad things befalling me because I didn't do anything wrong. I did everything right. Wayne did everything wrong. Wayne didn't do what he was supposed to do. I held up what I was supposed to hold up in God's eyes. Beyond. I went above and beyond. And for God. For obedience to God. Not for Wayne. For God. And I don't have anything ominous to look that I have to fear in the future. Well, Jacita does, Toya does, Wayne does, Baby does, for the evils that they done. And even Wayne was the one person that could have escaped. From the beginning, Toya was cursed, Jacita was cursed, and Baby is cursed. They are cursed motherfucking people. Wayne did not have to be cursed. Now he's trying to remove himself from the curse. Recently, he said, I want nothing, he's talking about Baby and Cash Money. He says, I want nothing to do with these people. You want nothing to do with these people. So he's trying to remove himself from the curse, you see. Because you either going to die or you're going to get the fuck away from these motherfuckers. And so he's realizing that. And I think he's realizing more of how they fucked him over and how they played him. And not just, I'm not talking about necessarily business or money. I'm talking about in terms of the lies about me and him seeing that they are liars and them trying to destroy our relationship. And it really wasn't no them. It was mainly Baby. Baby is the evil one. He's the one that tried to destroy Wayne's marriage, his real relationship. And just how he walked him down a path that was going to bite him in the ass. You know, he got nothing but disrespect for kissing Baby. He didn't really kiss Baby. Baby kissed him, but he got nothing but disrespect for that. You dig? It's like the things that Baby has caused Weezy to do, they were bad for him. And it took him a while to see that. I've always told him that, but he can't see until he is bit in the ass. Wayne cannot take wisdom that is given to him and roll with it because it is wise. He got to see pain and suffering, and he always gets it. He always gets pain. He always gets suffering. You see, he always suffers because he don't listen. He's fucking hard-headed, but it always bites him in the ass. And it's like, what do you need to experience to learn that you walking down the wrong fucking path? You done been put in a cage on Rikers Island. Ain't nobody else was in there with you. That was you. Baby wasn't in there with you. Nobody. You the dumb motherfucker in the cage, okay? And this is because of his sins against me and his not acknowledging the truth. God had punishment for him. That cage had his name on it. Nobody was going to take the fall for him. Nobody's going to prison for him. He is going because it has his name on it. And he went. And he's bitter about that. And the seizures, to the point where now you done told these lies or allow these lies or try to follow your mama into speaking these lies to VH1 and to the world. And now you having seizures. You see, the seizure started when Wayne was in his 20s. And that's because of his sins. That's because. Yes, it's lean. It's a product of lean, but the lean was because of his sins. He didn't want to face the pain and suffering in his soul. Wayne has always been trying to deliver himself from the pain that he suffers because of his sins. In other words, you do something wrong, you feel bad inside. Now you're trying to cure how you feel inside with lean, with drugs, with drink, with weed, with pills, with whatever. So his sins is the reason for the seizures. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, how much bad shit do you have to experience before you fucking realize you are walking in the wrong goddamn direction and that everything that I'm saying is true? It's just biting him in the ass. Now he has no bodily control. He's found unconscious. His eyes rolled back in his head, losing control of his bowels. You see what I'm saying? In a seizure state. Why? And it didn't have to happen. But he's so determined. You're going to prove me wrong. Yeah, you're going to prove me wrong by laying on your ass and shaking. That's a repercussion of not listening to me. And not because it's me, but God's wisdom through me. And so he just keeps losing. Losing, 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 losing. And it's all in his hands. He didn't have to lose. But he wants to have pride and defiance for no fucking reason. No sensible reason. There's no sensible reason for Wayne doing the things that he's done against our holy union. He's suffering. You see what I'm saying? When he was in the cage, I'm free. I'm not in no fucking cage. I'm not having seizures. So who is doing the fucking suffering? You are, motherfucker. Now you're exposed for the lies that you told by your God-ordained wife to your fans, to your peers, and it's not going anywhere because you got all the warning of how to straighten up and fly fucking right. And he even got the spiritual tools on how to overcome roots in witchcraft. You see what I'm saying? So God has really invested in him a great deal through me. And so he wants to be defiant. He just kicking himself in his own ass. You see what I'm saying? Losing. You don't get women like me. I don't come around every day. You see what I'm saying? He can't get another fucking me. It's in fucking possible. There's nobody that he can get to replace me. Someone ordained in his life by God. With my history, with my bloodline, with my intelligence, with my anointing, he can't get that. You see what I'm saying? There is no fucking replacing me. So he just loses and loses and loses and loses. You see what I'm saying? And if I'm on the right, and I'm in the right, God will give me a man to replace Wayne. You see what I'm saying? So you really can't replace, I mean, everybody's an individual, but I'm just saying that I'm in the right, he's in the wrong, so all the good's gonna fall to my account and the bad's gonna fall to him, which is what's happening right now. He's trying to get free from baby right now. You see what I'm saying? He done tangled himself up with this nigga. And you know, now that he's an adult, I mean, he's 30 years old. He's been an adult for a while, but he hasn't been living as an adult. He's been under motherfuckers' thumbs. But, you know, eventually, if you're going to stay alive on this earth, you're going to get older. And so you're going to go into your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, 50s, etc. So he's in his 30s. So, but it's taking him coming into his 30s to start really seeing that's what's going to have to happen. You going to be a fucking idiot your whole life? No, you can't be, or you're going to die. Because, look, you're not going to get older unless you get smarter. Dumb people die early. You see what I'm saying? If he's going to stay on this earth and he's going to stay alive, you're going to have to mature and get some fucking brains. And humble yourself and admit when you're wrong and make the changes. So that's what he's trying to do now with freeing himself from baby. But he went so long in the wrong direction. You see what I'm saying? And this is so grievous for him. Wayne ain't never had true happiness. He's never had true peace. He's never known it. He's only known hell. In the midst of this hell, he's released albums, he's toured, he's done concerts and all of that, and performances and videos, but he's only known hell. He was born from Jacida, and she was abusive from his childhood on up. You see what I'm saying? His father wasn't there. He was in pain because of that, because his father didn't have a relationship with him. You see what I'm saying? And now he's around this person, baby, who never really was no good for his life. He just wasn't. And I mean, he owned the record label that Wayne came out on, but other than that, he ain't been no good for his life. And so and his mama just tried to tell him to lie throughout all this process. While other people are trying to take advantage of her son, she gonna try to cause him to get out in the media and make up shit and lie so that he can bring up more punishment and repercussions upon himself and more pain and more suffering. And everybody is just out for themselves. Toya just trying to have some name that ain't hers. She's just trash from the fucking alley. She's garbage. She's shit. She's just less than the average woman, and that's the truth. She ain't shit. And you know she ain't shit if she have to pretend to be another woman to try to have some measure of fame. Everything she's done under my identity, including writing a book, getting on TV. All that was under my identity. This fake ass fraud, she's just trash. So all she wanted to do was take advantage of him, and none of this is good for him. You see what I'm saying? All this shit is gonna rebound to his pain and suffering. Because Wayne is the man that should have stood up and said, you know what, you want this place, but it ain't yours. This is Angela's place. And I don't give a fuck if you know, too bad if people don't like it. If they can cry and throw temper tantrums and you give in, then what kind of man are you? You ain't no kind of fucking man. You can't even stand up. And so you can be manipulated. No, you have to stand up as a man, be a man, and if motherfuckers don't like it, oh fucking well. But what does he do? He gives into the pressure, he gives into the lies and the bullshit that he knows are lies. And it's just going to continue to bite him in the ass. He's going to lose respect. You see what I'm saying? Because you have your wife out here in front of your peers and in front of your fans and in front of the world disrespecting you. And it can't be no other way, because there ain't no, knowing me. And this is not something that God's going to correct, because people think, well, God's going to correct this part of you because it's not a Christian trait to disrespect your husband and all that. But he has disrespected me, and it's my nature to disrespect the motherfucker. I mean, it's not a retaliation thing. It's not you did this to me, so I'm going to do this to you. It's simply that a motherfucker that will allow himself to be intimidated by bitches and give in to temper tantrums and not stand up as a man and say, this is what I want, this is what God's will, fuck if you like it or not, I'm doing his will. Too bad he don't have the balls. So he ain't worthy of any respect. Until he stands up and is a man, he's not fucking worthy of respect. Until he knows his own mind and he knows what he wants and he knows his mind, but he's too fearful to stand up, and he's so worried that baby gonna get mad, his mama gonna get mad, Toya gonna get mad. Well, fuck, you ain't a man, bitch. You don't know your mind. You don't know who you fucking are. You don't know what you're supposed to be doing. You don't know how to stand up as a man and walk your own fucking path. Instead of being a fucking mama's boy and being intimidated by dumb bitches, a dumb bitch is gonna get you to get on TV and lie and then bring more punishment and more repercussions and more pain onto your fucking life. You supposed to stand up and you supposed to put her in fucking check. How the fuck she gonna have you under her thumb when you the motherfucker buying her house? It don't make no goddamn sense. You see what I'm saying? He don't understand what it is to be a man and stand up and say, you know, this is what it is. Instead of giving in to and he's intimidated by motherfuckers. I can't deal with no bitch nigga like that. It's my nature to just kick him in his fucking ass. I don't care. I do not care if people think it's distasteful, if they like it, if it's ladylike, if it's something I should do as his wife or whatever. That's all irrelevant to me. The only thing I care about is what God says. You see, because he's who I'm going to have to stand for before in the end of this. I ain't going to have to stand before any of y'all. I don't have to stand before humans. I have to stand before him. As long as it's well with my soul and it's well with him, that's all. That's the majority right there. You see what I'm saying? I don't care what people think. So Wayne, he never knew what it's like to be a man, and that's sad. He pretends, you see what I'm saying? It's just dress up in a costume, put on a fucking Batman costume, get on stage, do this, do that, say this, or whatever. You see what I'm saying? It's a dress up game. You know, it's Halloween, basically. You know, put on this image of being a man, but you ain't really standing for the right thing. You ain't standing for shit, and now you think you can just joke your way out of it and stick out your tongue and make faces and be a clown and be a fucking buffoon. That's not getting me off your ass. That's not stopping the truth from coming out. Your mama put you in a situation, you follow the stupid shit, and you receiving the repercussions. It's gonna be that way, because you's a dumb motherfucker. You should have listened to the wisdom that was given to you. And so I don't really feel sorry for the motherfucker. He just gotta lose and keep losing until he do what he's supposed to do. You see what I'm saying? Because he thought, you know, a woman like me, you cannot have for free. It don't work that way. It does not. You cannot try to get the highest for nothing. You know, you will get kicked in the face by God himself, because God is like, how are you gonna try to extract from the highest that this land can give you in terms of a woman? The highest people, the highest bloodline, the highest intelligence, the highest wisdom, the highest that comes from me. And you think you're going to just take advantage of that and use that and get that for free, and you ain't going to put nothing in? God will extract it out of your ass himself, kick you in the face. You know what I'm saying? God gets out of you what you owe. You see, even if you don't want to give it, he'll take it from you. It's a life of checks and balances. You're gonna have to pay what you owe. And so that's what it is. But it's a lot. But anyway, the whole thing was in his hands, and he made all the fucked up choices, and now he's getting the fucked up results, and he's realizing it, and that's just one more sad thing for a sad ass nigga with sad ass actions that he's always done. You know, he set this up himself. He put himself in this position. He put himself in this position. And so his reputation is going down the drain. He ain't no saving it. Once a bitch come out there and she's powerful and she is hell. You know, you should have known what you had. I don't know what to say to him. I really don't, you know. But God is going to fulfill all of this. He's going to fulfill it all. The judgment, the words that he spoke through me in terms of the punishments that are to come. He's going to fulfill it all. He is fulfilling it all. It's right in front of your eyes. It's dawning on him now, you know, but it's been in the works for a long time. You know, now it's basically whooping Wayne, and that's where it's at. It's about his punishment, and that's what it's going to be about, because he just kept being defiant against that which was good for him, and it made no sense. And so he just has to be beat the fuck down, and that's what it is.